From the gateway to bourbon country in Louisville, Kentucky, welcome to the Firkin podcast, where every drink tells a story. I'm Brian.
I'm Chris. What's going on, Brian?
Hey, Chris, man, I am excited about today's episode. I'll tell you why. Because we have a super special guest in the studio.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've known this guy for quite a few years, too.
Oh, who do we got?
Well, today, from Against the Grain Brewery, we have the chief marketer, business development guy, Sam Cruz. Welcome to the show, Sam.
Welcome, Sam. He usually pipes in some clapping. Right?
Oh, I'm going to.
We're like a studio audience.
You're going to get a whole
Can you
auditorium.
make it really loud
That's
to make
right.
it be like, oh, wow, it's like Elvis walked through the building?
This guy gets it.
No, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you again.
Likewise. Yeah, what's it been, 20 years?
Something like that, probably.
Has it really been 20 years?
No, it hasn't been that long, I don't think.
So before we get into all that craziness, we have to pop our first one because it's actually been on the refrigerator for a while and it's hot outside and we need a drink. So, Sam, before we get into anything, why don't you tell us what we're popping here?
That is Pool Boy Light. It is a summer seasonal for us. It is a light ale. It's a light golden ale with blackberries. We tell everyone they're local blackberries because we got them locally.
You got
From the truck that pulled up on
Right out in front of our building.
from my car when I drove by.
It's a light and refreshing beer. It actually is legitimately a light beer. That's why we got to put that on there. 3.1%. This is a crusher. It's good for the pool. And it was our way to put our finger in the seltzer face.
All right.
Fantastic.
So let's go ahead and pop these open. Oh, gotta love that.
Ooh, yeah, baby.
So cheers, Sam. Thank you for coming on.
Cheers.
Sam. Cheers. All right, let's try. Ooh.
I taste that local blackberry right there, baby.
Very fruity.
Oh,
Yeah. It's almost got a little bit of that sourness on the back. That's good.
So what to know about this too? This has just about the same carbs as Mick Ultra.
Really? Right around 95-ish and then
Calories 90.
Really?
Wow.
Well, yeah,
Man, for such a good I know it is a light beer, but such a good good full fruity flavor.
It's real
You'd
cool.
almost expect it to you give me a little bit more calories out of this.
You just wrecked the seltzer game, bro.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
That's right.
Man, that is good. I haven't had this one. Is this a new one altogether for you guys, or is this something you put out every year?
Yeah, we've been doing this for about 4 years now, and we just run it through the summer.
Oh wow!
Well, I know that a lot of what you and I used to talk about back in the day was the lack of a good light beer. In the craft game, right?
Well, yeah, it's beer all day long. The last thing I want to do is fucking stumble around. So we need a little bit of something that's in between the big ones.
So before we get into too much of your history, I have to call out the crazy package, the amazing artwork that is on there. It is so
the pool boy's
cool.
really getting some sun there.
Yeah. So what is tell us about our pool boy and why does this look like what Brian wanted the pool?
I did. Yeah.
Well, the character art's done by a local artist, Robbie Davis. Big fan of his.
Okay.
He's amazing. So the whole I guess the concept behind this was that easy drinking pool beer. I like getting a little bit crazy on the cans and challenging
Yes, you do.
the average male drinker. Can you do this?
Can you do this? Or do you have to drink it fast enough?
Yeah, you put your hand around the whole thing.
So you're just like, shit. I don't want anybody to see that. Also, it looks like, is this where you got the blackberries? Is that you wouldn't skim them from a local pool?
From the local pool.
From the local public pool.
That's right.
Yeah.
Was
where all
it
the best
Fairdale or was it St. Matthews?
It doesn't really matter where you get your blackberries from.
It's awesome to see you back here, man. So yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of where you came from?
Yeah.
What brought you to brewing, and let's get into that.
Who
part of your
is
story.
Sam?
Well, God. So Sam's a kid that got a taste of beer at an awful young age. My love of beer has it's gone back to 11 years old. I mean, I snuck a beer, fell in love.
Wow.
That's truly my first
I've always told that story the opposite. When I got into like drinking altogether, is I snuck some of my dad's whiskey. I was like, this is the worst.
Right.
And then I didn't have whiskey again for years. Scared me straight. You were the opposite.
Absolutely. My friend and I, we stole a beer and a couple cigarettes, real badasses, at 11 years old.
Absolutely.
And we took our old Milwaukees and our 2 cigs around to the side of the house, cracked our beer, lit up the cig. I took a drag off that cigarette. It's disgusting. I still, to this day, I'm not a smoker. I'm not into it. The beer, though, I took a drink and it was like,
whatever. Stumbled upon
11 years old and we got a problem.
He didn't like it and he gave me his.
Oh, great.
So I got hammered. Went in. We had an early night and I fell asleep because I was wasted. And from there, it was every time we were in, weekends, we'd steal beers and go drink beer. So fast forward, college. I am obviously in love with beer, as is all college kids.
Oh, yeah.
I was a home brewer. Actually, I was brewing at home and making some real garbage, real terrible shit.
Weren't they all?
Yeah.
When you're doing your bathtub, what are you supposed to do?
It was bad, but it was alcohol. And I got a part-time job at Bloomington Brewing Company.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't learn anything about making good beer. I want to make that clear. Like, I never made a beer there. I never learned anything about it. I just learned how to clean kegs and my way around the brewery.
It's an important thing to know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Get out of college, land in Louisville, Kentucky, and am working in the psych hospital industry. Oh, yeah. That's what I could do. Political science, guys.
Oh, there you go.
How long did you do that for?
6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was exciting.
I bet it was.
Did you work at the local hospital?
I worked at Our Lady of Peace.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, the stories. Oh, and the news. When I watch the news, I'm like, I know him. I know him.
That guy runs the country.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I just got to a point where I wanted to do something that I liked, and I was homebrewing at that time too. And I would visit Bluegrass Brewing Company to get yeast and bother the brewer there. Well, the brewer happened to be a really extremely outgoing and nice guy named Jerry Nagy.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that outgoing part, and the nice part. I don't know. I'm just being kind.
Sorry, we don't think he
No.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, he was definitely visibly annoyed by me every time I came in. So he kind of got to where he's like, get what you need and leave. And so he started to trust that I wouldn't fuck things up. So one day I asked him for a job, and he said, I need somebody to clean kegs. And I said,
I'm really good at that.
I can do that.
I'm a professional. I'm your man.
So I did it, and he was the weirdest guy I've ever worked with. So I didn't talk to him for a good year. Like, we were on different shifts. For real. Then one day we had a conversation. I was like, you're not bad. You're not bad.
Look at that.
And that just kind of graduated into working as assistant, and then Bluegrass Brewing Company expanded, and I took on a head brewer position at their other location.
How long did you brew beer as you were learning when you were working there before you joined up with BBC? How I guess.
Oh God, I homebrewed when I was 17.
Okay.
So I had been, and I need to be clear, like, it was not good. It was not good.
Like, when I say homebrewed, it was shit.
It was bad news. Like,
dude, I've had some fucking cripplingly bad homebrews in my time.
It was after I had gotten a little older that I made a few decent ones and thought, well, fuck, I can do this. And then, like I said, I got that job at BBC and ended up getting the brewer job, and it took off from there. This is where it gets a little quirky. So there's a guy that owns it. His name's Pat. The Pat that I have in my head is this invention. Like, he's a cartoon.
Yeah.
He's evil. He does dumb shit all the time.
Right.
Like he's like Gargamel almost.
Absolutely.
It's a fucking cartoon in my head. The real Pat was just kind of a dipshit and off-putting at times. But the guy in my head, he's not. He's an inspiration for everything. Pat had, there was 2 incidents. 3 actually. Pat had a business. He really wanted to get that lunch business up, and he had this fucking grandiose idea that if he puts a salad bar in there in the brewery in the area, that'll really bring in the young, like, hip crowd that's going to come in and party. So that
nothing I'm thinking about other than at lunch is like, how can I go party with my salad?
Yeah, it's a salad bar. So after a few visits from and they like $5 salad bar from the Atria community with their bus, and they'd come in and someone would piss their pants before they got through the line. That's who
Sam was making this beer for.
This demographic is not working out, Pat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about it. I'm like, God, I'm really not being represented well right now.
Sam won more awards before 3:00.
Then the next marker was Pat had taken a vacation. He'd take these vacations down to Florida. It was great. He'd be gone. We'd be like, fuck yeah. The fool's gone. Let's get this place in order, And he came back, and he comes in the brewery. He says, hey, guys, come out here and help me get this out of my truck. And I'm like, all right. I go out there to help him, and he pulls down the gate, and I look, it's a fucking 7-foot statue of a pirate hooker.
That's right. I forgot about the pirate hooker.
And I'm like, what is this? And he's like, oh, we're going to put it in the entryway of the restaurant.
From Florida, man. Yeah. This is awesome.
Yeah,
but why?
It's called Bluegrass Brewing Company. What in the absolute fuck does this pirate hooker have to do with anything?
Changing it to Blackbeard Brewing Company.
So I, begrudgingly helped him get this whore in there, this giant whore, that would greet everyone as they came in. Enjoy the beer. Look at me. Yeah, and that was he's like, oh, I got a great deal. It was like $700, and that, like, in lieu of fucking new gloves or something for me.
Yeah, you know where it is now. It's in Brian's basement.
Yeah, that's right. We took it home.
Oh, we've tried to steal it. We've been caught.
So is it still there?
It's over at the third main BBC.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
They moved the damn thing.
No shit.
Yeah. We have tried to take it and have been caught.
That's great, because it's kind of like the old, like, steal someone's mask.
That's right.
Type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
So that was the moment where I'm like, hey, Jerry, I don't mean any disrespect, but you got a good thing here. You get paid well.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can do this very long. I'm going to start looking. This doesn't represent me well. And he says, why would you think I want to stay for this? I want to look with you, So
let's do this as a team.
Yeah. So we did, we had that brief, like, let's open a brewery someday. So it got bandied about at that point. Then, interestingly, we entered this contest and won an award. It was the only reason we entered is because you win money. Oh, brewers never win money, and they don't get paid well.
Right.
So we entered this. It was called the Brain of Brewers by Lallemand Laboratories, and essentially, you use their yeast. You enter the categories they have. I think it was like American ale, wheat ale, shit like that, and they'll pay you $30,000 for best of show, $5,000 for each category.
Wow.
But this went out nationwide. So there were breweries that were like, oh, yeah, we're going to have our R&D. All these big places did this. So we did, and I never thought about it. Well, I get a phone call, and it's the people at Lallemand. They're like, hey, you got to come out to Denver. You won. And we're like, what? And they're like, yeah.
Won what?
Yeah, that's
That's a scam.
It felt like felt like a fucking scam.
The senior citizens beer of the month club. That's what you want.
This would have been 2007 or 8 or something like that. And anyhow, we get out there, and they go through the ceremony, and they're like, actually, we just need to kind of cut this short. These guys won everything. It was us. We won everything.
Christ, dude.
No way.
We won a ton of fucking money. A ton of money. Yeah. So, and of course,
so you're like pissing yourself right now, and you're like, "What?"
It was a seminal
moment. Are you sure they drank my beer? Because I made good beer. I just didn't know it was going to do this good.
We're walking up there. I'm looking around the crowd, and I'm like, I see these fuckers in the magazines that I read their articles.
Yeah.
And it's Denver and it's cold. I've got shorts on, so they clearly are like, who are these fucking jack-offs? This one's got sandals on.
Who's this home brewer? He literally just grabbed this yeast.
Walk up there, and the guy, Bill, who was the announcer, was like, yeah, they won this. It was a big moment, not only the money piece of it, but there's a little bit more to that story. But the big moment was looking out in the crowd and thinking, holy shit, I have arrived.
Yeah, right. No shit, right?
So Jerry, obviously, both he and I shared that moment. We've been together a long time, is what I would say. He and I are the wheels on the Against the Grain machine.
That's awesome.
So money, the most important part of it all. Let's talk about that money.
You're multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
Multi-thousandaires.
We're about to be multi-thousandaires.
Yes.
And
the dream has been made.
We were like, write the check to the company, you brew it. If you do something on the company's dime, you got to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, the expectation is we'll get a bonus. It was a lot of money. We're talking like, it was about $45,000 overall. 35 of it was one beer. It's one best of show. So the money goes to BBC. The owner's like, you guys are great. Fucking love you. And we're
good
like,
job,
right,
guys.
Cool. Check. Write a check. And that's how you show love.
I can buy 100 pirate statues.
And they did. They wrote you a check as your weekly salary.
Well, time goes on and we're getting paid. The usual Christmas rolls around and we always got a Christmas bonus. I got to give Pat he actually is more like Wario, if I could say that.
Yeah.
If I could give him any credit, he gave us a Christmas bonus. Well, I'm like, hey, Pat, what about that big check we gave you? You going to give us some money? And he's like, yeah, it's going to come on the next check. So 3 envelopes. This is when you got checks.
The old fashioned.
Yeah. So we got the regular check, get the bonus check, and the 3rd envelope. And I'm like, oh yeah. Open it up.
Here it is.
$250 fucking dollars. Oh my God. The moment.
Did he at least pay for your plane ride out there?
It was just a kick in the ass. I mean, you know the moment on Christmas Vacation when Clark
where he gets the check because he's already dug the pool and shit on the back.
It was that. I had that moment.
Well, I mean, you had the original check that you practically turned in.
Oh, we had a big check.
Oh, you even got a big one?
Yeah, we got to keep the big check.
Oh, man.
We got to keep the big checking, and then I got $250. I just fucking lost my mind. But that was the kick in the ass to get the hell out of there.
Damn straight.
So we kind of palled up with some guys that worked there at BBC with us. Found some real silly people that were willing to invest in these dipshits with a dream and a little bit of talent. And we got Against the Grain going.
That's awesome. So is the first location, was that the one at Slugger Field? Was that your very first location?
Yeah, that was complete dumb luck that we got that too. Like
man.
Yeah, it was already together and made. And we had went around and asked, we were going to build. Or try to get in, and every property owner was like, you don't have enough money, you're stupid, you look funny,
we want
get the fuck out of here. Don't call me again.
What are you doing?
So essentially we were running out of our own money to stay out there and working on this because we had been expunged from the BBC when he found out we were going to do that, open the place, and kind of went to what was a place called Browning's, to tail tucked between the legs from getting told to fuck off from another property owner, and walked in, and we're all sitting at a table, and I'm like, this place is fucking terrible. There's no beers that they make on as a brewery, and it feels dead. The music's bad. The server's ugly. The whole everything you can think of that makes it feel like a dying place.
Yeah.
And so server came over, and I said, who owns this? She told me. I said, I need his number. Called him. It was a new Chariot. I said, hey, I'd like to buy your beer equipment. He said, we were like, fuck, we can get a deal. And he's like, can't sell it, but I can sell my business. I hate this.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
I can tell.
And when he said, I hate this, it was immediately like,
there might be an opportunity.
Like a vulture flying around to pick the meat off the bone. And absolutely.
So did you have the idea for Against the Grain at this point in time?
We had planned. We knew we wanted to call it Against the Grain. We knew we wanted to be a brewery. Didn't want food necessarily. We just needed to build a brewery so we could get started. Yeah. Well, he said, I'll sell it to you because I can't sell this stuff. It's got a lien on it. We said, how much? And he said, how much you got?
$250.
$250 bonus.
Oh wait, I got 500.
We
Jerry's
got 500. Jerry's got some money too.
It was good. A little bit of back and forth with our attorney, who I think it's Adam at this point. I think he really put on a good show. He was also a thespian. So
that's helpful.
That really is helpful. That's really helpful.
And their attorney, and we landed on a number that was just stupid. I mean, today people would be like, no way.
Well, I mean, look at the location that you're at.
Exactly.
Yeah, no shit, right?
I mean, are you shitting me?
I know. Fuck, you're telling me.
Right.
Like, I mean, if you were to pick a place to where you would want to open a business in Louisville,
it was amazing. I mean, dumb luck. Completely just the planets aligned. So we get in there, and don't have any money. Like, we didn't have any fucking money. Let's just get down to it.
We literally had enough money to buy the business. We can't do shit once we have it.
So we kind of made it our own by taking shit out of there, paint and graffiti, and it became what it is. And it was just hustle over the years. And
that's awesome.
It's a beautiful place.
Thanks.
I say we've been doing all this talking. I've been down in my Blackberry here.
Oh yeah,
and I'm here shortly. I'm ready to move on to my next one. Is anybody else ready to
Same
move on to
here.
the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we are going to take a quick break, and because we have to re-up for our next beer.
Indeed. Right back. At the Firkin podcast, we like to explore the stories behind the drinks. We've done that throughout the first few episodes with a number of amazing guests, and we want to keep bringing great content to you. I want to encourage everyone to become a Firker at patreon.com/Firkin podcast. Help support the show and make what we're doing possible. That's patreon.com/Firkin podcast. Benefits include early access to shows, pre-sale tickets, cutting room floor content. Who could ask for more? Come make the show possible. That's patreon.com/Firkin podcast. We are back,
and we have gone to our next beer. So, Sam, what do we got, man?
Okay, this is called Louisville Pale. We spelled Louisville in the lazy way that people say it.
Louisville.
So this beer, we had the kind of the genesis of it. We ask our brewers, hey, we're gonna do a new brand. It's gonna be all year round. What would you drink? And they came up with this. They said we want to do a pale ale. Well, I'm the marketer, and I'm like, guys, we gotta sell it. We can't just say pale ale. We got to do something a little bit different. Can we do a hazy pale ale? And they're of course like, fuck hazy beer, like any brewer. Yeah, fuck hazy beer. I don't want to do that. And but the challenge was on the table, and they really came through and made this incredible hazy pale ale. Then went to Robbie and said, hey, can you help me with the label? I want to pay homage to the things that matter to me in the city. And I really love that, it's Against the Grain, that gonzo.
Yep. I love it.
Type thing. So we've got a character that is, he's one of our characters, but he's in character as Hunter S. Thompson. Yep. And then a little bit about our like flagship location. If you look at the top, that ring, those are bats.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Those are baseball bats that are bats.
Oh, and if you look into the shirts, I see the Twin Spires.
That's right.
Yep.
Horse racing.
This beer is all about our love for home.
That's awesome, man.
Can I ask a question of what's this?
That's a bone.
It's a bone, duh.
Yeah, it's a bone.
Sorry, I mean,
I just didn't finish it.
Like,
it's a bone.
Got some gambling.
We hide one in every label.
Do you really?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, is that right?
That's true.
Oh,
wow.
So man, I love to hear little fun Easter eggs like that that you have to look for. Like, so, well, I'm just going to start going through and looking for the bone.
There's a dick in every one of them.
On the can, guys. On the can.
No, this is great. I like this. I haven't had this one.
So it's hazy. It's a little fruity. It's a little bit on the light side.
Ooh.
This is a crusher.
Oh man. So I don't like an overly hoppy beer. It's just not my flavor. But I do love that. I do love hops, and that it's not like offensive or anything like that. Very just light, very approachable, but crusher for sure. What's the ABV?
5.5. Huh?
5.5.
Yeah.
Ooh, getting up there. I like it.
This is meant for the brewers. They love this beer.
This is an everyday.
Every day.
Oh yeah, every day. All day, every day.
Louisville Pale.
Louisville.
ATG.
Louisville Pale.
So what was the what were your first beers that you guys launched with?
I love story time.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna breeze past the first one, even though it's probably our most important beer.
Okay.
Our biggest seller is Citra Ass Down. By that by and large is the one that moves the needle for us. That beer is interesting. We were contract brewing for McKellar at the time out of our pub.
Oh wow.
Yeah, wow. A lot of people don't know that. Like, we were doing a lot of his American stuff, like draft stuff, out of our pub when we first opened. It's how we helped sustain our
makes sense. Yeah,
abilities.
Right. Cash, yeah.
Everybody knew we made good beer, so we were doing that, and he sent us Citra hops, but only enough for his beer. And so we were starting to make one of his IPAs, and we try it, and we're like, "Fucking God, this is great!" So we reserved some of them for ourselves.
Why does my beer not taste as hoppy as it should?
It's fucking great.
and backfilled with zest and like fruit zest to make up for what he was looking for. Well, that turned out okay. So the next thing was, why don't we try to do that with our own? We got these little bit of Citra hops we can work with. And so Jerry killed himself zesting a million fucking oranges and grapefruits and shit, and made this incredible beer that had the integrity to last like a week. Like, it was great for a week, and then it was like, this is fucking garbage.
This is just going to turn fucking fast.
But it was enough that we were like, oh, fuck, we need to make this again, but with Citra hops. So we got them and produced it, and it was a hit. It was a big one. Yeah. So we made that. It turned out great. We contracted for it, knew that we were going to produce that over and over and over. The name was kind of riding in a car. We don't know what to name the beer. Real fucking dumb guys that come up with dumb shit all the time. Can't have we seriously can't have a serious conversation.
Buddy, this is how this podcast.
We have meetings.
Fart shit piss.
Yes. We have serious business meetings that I've had to be like, if there's no agenda, I'm not coming, because we can't get through it without somebody saying fart shit piss, or ass.
And everybody laughing.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And then you're drunk. And you're blinking drunk. So we're in the car and we're trying to have a serious conversation about what to name the beer. And Citra Ass Down came out. And I was like, fuck me. The fucking dumbest name ever. And I have to come up with a picture for it. It's the dumbest fucking name ever. Can we do better? And they outvoted me. They just
they said you're
3 against 1, bitch.
And so I was, as per usual, make a picture, find somebody to, So I did, and it's the dumbest fucking picture ever. If you
it though? Because you have one that is which I didn't bring.
Oh, the brown note.
You goddamn right.
Note. Yeah.
The brown note I think was brilliant.
Oh no, it is. It's brilliant.
I
guess it just really words on how we're going to use the word dumb and brilliant.
It's so good.
It's
you'll shit yourself.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what we're trying to tell you.
Hey, when that first beer came out, I didn't even taste it. The package is so good, I gave it to people as gifts. Yeah. Because it was the only thing I wanted to give you, because the package is amazing.
It is a very polarizing.
It is.
And it's got us press. What do they say? There's no bad press.
There is no bad press.
There's a lot. There was a lot more with that. We never wanted to do like old leg humper. I didn't want to do all the sex stuff.
Yeah.
Unless it was going to be like super homosexual. I like the
right.
I really think those are fun labels because
they are because of what you said earlier. Yeah, they challenge the guy.
So we didn't want to do those. I always wanted to be, though, as far as I could, go as far as I could with enough that people would be like, this is my brewery. I identify with it because I'm a little fucked up too.
I.e. why you're here.
Mm-hmm. So there's that one, and then the next one when we did it was one of our first beers we brewed at the location. It was a milk stout. It was called 35K. Mm-hmm. A beautiful milk stout, award winning even. It won an award. It won $35,000.
Hey, did you get to keep that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder.
So we name it that and adorn the package.
I love the backstory on that beer now that I know it.
And we adorn the package with one of our characters, and the character is holding this baby, and the baby is Pat. It's beautiful why, too. He knows. He's probably the only one that knows. And it stems from the last conversation he had with Jerry. And we were bitching at him because of pirate statues and dumb shit he had done. And, everything you can imagine that was stupid. And I heard him. I was standing there and he said, Jerry, why would you talk to me that way? I pay your bills. And Jerry responded with, no. I pay your bills, and you are a child to me. and Pat said, how can you talk to me that way? And that was it.
Oh my God.
So that was it?
That's why he is the baby. And the idea behind all of our brands was, so when we started, we had this really great idea, like, we are going to introduce people to all these new different beers, but you can't tell them what you're giving them because they're fucking scared. They're like, I drink dark beer. I like a pale ale, So we are in Kentucky, by the way.
That's right.
Anyhow,
that sounds like that sounds about right. Uh-huh.
So
as you can see, we didn't even make fun of the accent. I know that's Joe down the street.
That's literally what they said. That's
we created these categories that we knew we could rotate the beers through, and it wouldn't scare people. We just get them accustomed to the category. So we created hop. The hop category would have double IPA, Belgian IPA. IPA, pale ale, whatever fucking hop beer you can think of, and we just rotated those through, and those characters were born out of those categories to kind of represent the beers.
I love how many different people that you're willing and open to collaborate with too, because you've done so much between Copper and Kings to Brew Floyd's, and we've done some other things. That, that's a really, really neat to be open to so many different collaborations.
Yeah, I think to be in the community is, to be of the community is to be in the community, and to, you can't do anything at any point that somebody hasn't done.
Yeah.
So really being original is real fucking hard these days. So why not just work with everyone? They say that rising tide lifts all ships. I think that's true, but I think what it really means is, like, it's okay if we all work together in a jovial. We're competing for shelf space or the dollars, whatever. But at the same time, we shouldn't disparage our industry by not, supporting each other.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I will only be disparaging to Pat, not BBC. I love BBC. I thought it was a great place.
Yeah, that's funny too. Yeah, because you haven't done anything with the BBC. Like it never was just Pat.
No, it's very directed.
Yeah,
directed to one person.
But as far as our colleagues in the industry, I mean, there have been I think everyone needs a specter. We've had people that have worked for us that have left to start their thing and used us as their specter.
Yeah, and
I understand being that. It's selfish, being inspiration for them. I find it flattering.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, you started very similar, in a very similar.
But
fashion.
I wouldn't find myself disparaging them. I just don't see that as the way. So let's support the industry, even if quality wanes a little bit with some. Let's work on it. Like, hey, be good neighbors. Hey, your grass is. You want me to cut it for you? Come over? Yeah. Your wife, she's she's lonely. You want me
to come over? You need some help with that?
Just saying, I just cut your grass.
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on.
You're never home.
Buddy, I'm doing all your tours for you, man. I'm knocking them all out. What else you need done while I'm here? I will have to say this one is I like this one better than the blackberry. This is just a strong, awesome
crusher,
beer, man. This is good beer.
I think this is a beer drinker's beer.
It is.
That's the thing. The other one was really to compete with fruity shit that has low calories. So
yeah, I mean, and that's what unfortunately sometimes what the market goes to.
That's right.
And it ain't my flavor. I can tell you that much.
Well, you can tell by looking at me.
Yeah.
Light
beer.
Yeah.
He's only. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. This is man. So how long has this one been out?
We're looking at 3 years.
3 years now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Damn straight,
and I feel like it's finally come into itself. Our brewers are Jerry specifically. He's a phenomenal brewer. He's very well educated on the subject. He would be a legitimate master brewer, not a master brewer because he's like, I'm the guy that brews the beer, but because he has that certificate or diploma.
Yeah,
that would say he's a master brewer. So he's phenomenal, and he's really worked on this, but he's very much cost conscious and has said, we're not going to buy a new yeast that's specific for this. I'm going to manipulate the the everything to make it be what it
yeah.
is. And it's taken a few years, but I think he's finally hit that.
I think we're gonna sneak in a special pour.
Yeah,
after
we
this
are.
break,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, we're going to take a little break, grab some glasses, and Sam brought us some fantastic little special beers, and we're going to try those.
They're never agains. They are never agains.
Damn straight.
All right, we'll be right back. Do you want to win 2 4-day passes to Bourbon and Beyond?
I know I do.
You're not eligible.
That's right, but you are.
Just check us out at firkinpodcast.com/giveaways for your chance to win.
Look at all these great bands coming to Louisville.
Brandy Carlisle.
We got the Avett Brothers.
Bruno Mars.
We got the Killers.
Wayne Newton.
Wayne fucking Newton.
Yeah, I won that.
That's right. Visit firkinpodcast.com/giveaways and find our Bourbon and Beyond 2023 page for your chance to win these 2 4-day passes. And we'll see you there.
Cheers. Sam, let's jump in to the next pour. So we've already kind of opened and poured ourselves just a little bit here. Tell us a
look at
little
this
bit
thing.
about this funky little monster you
Oh,
bought, buddy.
okay. This okay. First of all, the beer concept is it was born in my business partner Adam's head. This is one that this is him. He's responsible for this. So we love Islay Scotch. The partnership. That's one thing when we actually first took over Brownings. The liquor was left. It was a part of it, and they took all the good shit except
they did.
except nobody knew what this thing they
What
left
good
behind
Scotch
us.
was?
They left 2 bottles of 16-year-old Lagavulin,
Oh.
and so that was the celebrate. We got a fucking brewery,
Yeah.
whiskey. So it's peaty, it's smoky, it's phenolic, it's salty, it's really good. So this beer is kind of representative of that whiskey, and the idea was to create those flavors but make them into a beer so that you could drink more than just a few shots or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is what's born. So it's called McFanny Ball, which is
Great.
this you're gonna like this too. It means it's in the Welsh. Is that the whatever the people in Scotland
Yeah.
the words they use? It's the son of vagina penis. That's what it is. Literally, that's what McFanny Ball
Where
is.
does that come from?
I told you, not a fucking serious conversation can happen.
Does this come in the unplanned meetings?
Yes, this is what happens. This is why we can't get anything done.
Well, you did get something done.
Yeah.
Because wow,
It's an amazing beer.
Yeah, I've never had a beer like this.
Mhm.
Probably
For you
never
to-
will. But this is fucking fantastic.
you explained it perfectly. It's this really easy drinking Scotch.
is,
you
yeah,
can
right.
keep drinking it and they're not getting overwhelmed. And I've gone on record many times. I'm not a humongous peaty Scotch fan, but I'm not getting an overwhelmingness of that peat from this.
It again, beer. Beer is, people will be like, I'm a beer drinker, so it's hard for me to drink whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm that guy, so whiskey, I'll be like, and then I die.
Give me a full glass. They pour him this
Why
little
is it
pour,
so
what
small?
the fuck is that? I want a full glass of whiskey.
So this is that you've got to dumb those flavors down a little bit to make the beer.
Yeah.
Now this one is literally this bottle is probably 6 or 7 years old.
Oh.
So it's well past its moment. And that's why it gushed a little because there's some Brett. You're going to get Brett picked up in barrels. It's in the air. It's on, on your hair, on your feet. So that's going to be out there. And it has affected it a little bit. The barrel's fallen off a bit, but the flavors are still pretty definable. I think
They are, yeah.
It's also salty. I don't know if you get that.
I do get a little salt. So this is one you're not redoing. Ever again.
No, this is it.
This is a
it.
one-time.
Wow.
It's
Look at
my
this.
last bottle too. So
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Dude.
Man, gosh, I wish you guys had a chance to taste this because it's special.
it truly
it's
one of
really
my
special.
favorite beers we ever did.
I have never tasted anything like it.
Never.
It's like it's fucking with my mind a little bit, honestly, because you're thinking I should be drinking Scotch
Mhm.
because there is so much Scotch flavor to it.
Yeah.
But you can just keep swallowing, man.
It's like the
That's
gateway beer to Scotch.
gateway. Oh, the gateway to Scotch.
The son of vagina penis.
Man,
Thank
gosh,
you.
that's good, dude. That's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And dude, there's nothing there's nothing I've ever tasted like that before.
I
love it.
I haven't. I mean, it makes you feel so much like you're drinking a good light peated Scotch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so
And
earthy.
That was the intention, and then there's still sweetness, the residual sweetness. Some Islay scotches can be off-putting. The phenolic Band-Aid flavor. I don't know what it is about that, but sometimes that's fucking gross.
Man, there's some people.
That's right, it is.
Dude, there's some people that love that.
They do.
It is not my. It's never been my. Never been my flavor
And
profile, man. I just don't like it.
Of the let's say of the 100 that say I'm an Islay Scotch fan, 20 of the 100 like it. The other 80 are like, I'm a fucking Islay Scotch
just
fan.
want
I like
Yeah.
I was like, do you?
Yeah, the 16 older the better. You know?
That's right.
That's not fucking true. How long was that available for? How much did you release?
We made it 3 times
Okay.
and bottled all 3 of them. And those were 15 barrel batches, so the yield was probably 10 barrels. I mean, we're talking like cases, I don't know, 300 cases in its life, maybe 400 cases.
Did that get widespread distribution
all over the world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
We currently our distribution is only in on this side of the Mississippi, 19 states.
Okay.
Primarily Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, Illinois. We got some in Tennessee, but those are like the big places for us. Pre-pandemic, God, we were probably an inch deep in every state in the United States that would take beer. Kentucky, we had a little bit more, and then we were scattered all over the world. We were exporting beer. So our production pre-pandemic was twice what it is now.
Wow.
It's reduced. So the world changed. I mean, we were all inside of our houses and everything changed and we shrunk and have changed with that. But now it's kind of a different world for us. We're really drilled down in our local market and trying to commit ourselves even further to this place, as we should have in the beginning, frankly. But we were doing what we need to do to stay alive.
That's
and
right.
be us.
And I think that we're seeing a lot more really insurgents here. And maybe I'm just speaking this from the outside, just kind of looking in, is that I think we're seeing a lot more people really going after this pure local, like eat, drink, Kentucky proud, you know, I mean, just Indiana grown, like really just going hyper focus and do a lot of local type of brands. I'll plug the Brewer magazine. Did an interview with them, and they had asked me, what's changed with you? And ultimately the market is what I see. There's so many breweries in the U.S. When we started, there were less than 2,000, I think. There's right around 10,000 now. Wow.
I mean, in the United States. So being hyper local is probably the most reasonable thing to do as a brewery, because you can truly focus your efforts in the right places. Like this beer, I could send it out and it'd do great, but it's not going to resonate as much as something that's in someone's backyard.
Right.
And so we really committed ourselves to our backyard and front yard and side yard and everyone in our yard.
Got to cover all the yards. You know what I'm saying?
All yards.
In our neighbor's yard. And
prison
when he's
yard.
gone, in our neighbor's house. People have asked me what I wanted out of all this, and it's a weird way to describe it, but I want to live forever.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah. And there's only a few ways that I can do that. I can't live, like my body will die. I will eventually disappear. But I can live forever in my family's mind until it's so far along that I'm gone.
Right.
The other thing is to create a brand or an organization that just continues to go and proliferate and become a part of lives 100 years from now, and that to me is living forever.
Yeah.
And I want that. I want to be 100 years from now spoke about as, I'm the guy or he's the guy that did this so that we have
That's right.
this.
Yeah. I mean, we've already done a great start with this this great beer that you've already producing for us.
You're going to be like the Henry Ford of beers.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Isn't it? There's got to be a different car analogy. I feel like they've done a really good job.
I'd like the Henry Ford.
Is there I wouldn't even say the DeLorean is a good one.
I don't know though. I mean, who do you want to be?
Is there like the Fairlane maybe, or like one of those?
You want to be the Fairlane?
The Corvair.
I want to be the Pinto.
The guy who did the Corvair.
Man, Thank you for sharing that last bottle with us.
Yeah, that was
my
Something
pleasure.
that we will never ever get again. Gosh, it was so good.
Our next one is very special. It literally is the last bottle that I can even imagine. Like, I know we
Jesus.
don't have it at our place anymore. In 2018, we won a gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival for, was it Imperial Stout, aged in bourbon barrels or aged in barrels.
Yeah.
This is that beer. It's 70K. We produce it every other year. It is aged in an Amburana barrel. A little bit about the Amburana barrel. It was not allowed in the United States until we got it in.
What?
Really?
Yeah, really interesting thing. Jerry, I'm telling you, Jerry is a very well-educated beer guy. So Jerry gets asked to do these beer judging events all over the world.
Yeah.
And he got asked to go down to Brazil to judge their beer cup or whatever it was. Well, he ran across a really interesting guy named Pete Schlossberg. Now, if you're a beer person or you've been drinking as long as I have, you know that there was a really amazing brand that was like a pioneer in the craft industry called Pete's Wicked Ale.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah.
Pete's Wicked Ale.
Pete's Wicked Ale.
Pete's Wicked Ale, Pete is Pete Schlossberg. And Pete approached Jerry and said, "You are so well versed in this barrel aging. I find it amazing. And I want to show you something." And he introduced him to Amburana wood. Amburana wood is essentially the Brazilian version of oak. Like,
Okay.
they use it in cachaça and furniture making, fine furniture. Anyways, it's a Brazilian hardwood. It wasn't allowed in the United States. Customs hadn't approved it. So Pete's like, I want you to make some beer. I want you to make something with Amburana. And we're like, well, we can't get it. Pete said, I'll get it to you. So he smuggled it into the U.S. And Jerry met him and collected the nefarious Amburana wood.
Yeah.
We brought it back and we made some different beers with it to practice with it. Well, that turned into, we've got to get this here. We've got to get this into the U.S. legally. So we worked diligently with customs and with Pete and everyone to get this wood into the U.S. So we get him down there. He's like, oh, fuck, I can make some barrels with this. He made some barrels with it from the people they have a cooper down there. Get it to the U.S. We get our cut. A few wineries take some, and we make this beer.
Beautiful.
And it wins Great American Beer Festival Gold. It's an interesting flavor profile. It's spicy, like cinnamon.
Ooh.
But if you know what like Aztec chocolate is, Aztec chocolate has the character, I think, that is very much like Amburana.
Look at the color of that beer. Very, very dark. Very like honestly, you couldn't tell me it's not Coca-Cola. With the head that's kind of on it at the top.
So this is an imperial milk stout aged in bourbon barrels and then conditioned in an Amburana barrel. But what's interesting,
I mean, Sam, I can't even see
even
through it when
see
I put
through
it through put it up to the light, dude.
the beer, the Amburana wood is so perfuming and so it just expresses so much into the beer. The barrels that we used, we couldn't package that. We had to cut it with more of this just base beer in order to remove so much of that perfume.
Really?
Yeah, it was just so strong.
Wow.
So the integrity of these barrels is phenomenal. They last forever, almost. We still have some at the brewery. We just need to condition them and get them back in circulation.
Beautiful.
Oh,
smells.
my
Smells like
goodness.
Christmas, man.
It actually is what it reminds me of. It makes me feel like it's like a cool Christmas cookie.
Oh, damn. Look at that.
Man,
Mhm.
that has got some cool flavor to it.
That's the winner. That's the one
Wow.
that won the award. The
Gotcha.
specific beer, not the brewed again.
Oh,
Right.
This is the winner. Yeah, I was a
goodness.
big fan of this one. It's just a wonderful, wonderful beer.
Oh, yeah.
So dark chocolates for
Mm.
sure. A little bit of the bitterness
Mhm.
from the chocolate, which is really, really good. The
Cinnamon.
cinnamon. That's cinnamon.
So there is no cinnamon in it. That's directly.
How weird is that?
That's from the wood.
I mean, you couldn't. You honestly are having a hard time telling me that you didn't put cinnamon sticks in there to age because it is.
It's better, in my opinion. Cinnamon has a weird flavor
It
when
does,
you use it in
yeah.
beer.
It does.
This is it's just a much
more
more
subtle,
It's like
yeah.
an umami
Right.
thing that happened with that
Yeah.
wood. Amburana is
Man.
just such an incredible,
Yeah.
agricultural product to work with. It's phenomenal.
That is Christmas time, though, man. It is. Just straight up.
My gosh. Man, I hate that we can't go purchase that beer. I hate that that's not available anymore.
That's
so
it.
much.
And that is my last one as well.
I could drink that. I mean, man, it's the cool thing is it's being a stout. It's not like really heavy or filling at all.
No, and what's wild, this is a sweet stout. This is a milk stout.
Yeah.
So it should be filling and overwhelming. But it's a bit like soda. Really, in my opinion, it's a bit like soda. And
I see, because I get more of a soda probably vibe than anything, feeling like I'm very full. I don't feel like I'm like full like from some of those deeper, darker, thick stouts that you get.
But it will fuck you up. Just a heads up. It will
Yeah.
fuck
So
you
by
up.
the way, so what's our ABV?
We're at 13%.
Hot damn!
Yeah. Look at
And
this.
Hot damn! Did we jump up,
Look
baby?
at this guy.
I'm gonna tell you too. I don't believe that. I think it's higher. We never. It's never right. We have to lab test the canned stuff that goes into like Kroger and shit like that. We have to be Johnny on the spot for that. This stuff was at a time whenever you didn't have to be so exact, and we started to
So
notice.
somebody looked at it and was like, 13%.
Yeah, we'll call it 13.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Good
how.
enough.
Yeah, we did the math, and it's like and it's never right. So what we've noticed from the lab analysis is we're always shooting below where we are, and we've had to adjust our recipes back to meet that. So that's way out. It's either. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 14. Jerry hides alcohol really well. His fermentation schedule is it by his standards, the way it hides alcohol, it reduces the high alcohols and all the things that you can taste in alcohol. He really hides them well.
Yeah.
And I don't know how or why. It's just something that's like him, and that's what happened with that.
Way to go, Jerry.
Give him credit. I mean, the guy he
man.
coined a phrase for me in beer and I have to say this. Jerry would be, as a brewer, when I was a brewer, he was my mentor. He's taught me so much. One of the words that he coined that I was like, oh, I totally get that. He said, I fucking hate flabby beers. As a flabby dude, I get it.
I understand.
Yeah,
You don't like us.
But no, he really, it made sense to me. And the idea is always, the beer is not good unless you want another one. That's it.
Right.
It's if it's one and you're like, oh, I never want this again. It's like, well, I'm never making that again.
That's right. Yeah.
Because that's fucking terrible. The idea is that you want it over and over. But we recently introduced, by request, a beer called Against the Grain Bourbon Barrel Aged Ale.
Ooh.
By request, our distributor said, hey, can you make this thing? And it's the first time we've ever done that. Like, can you make this?
Yeah.
And we said, yeah, we can. They said, how fast?
Here we go.
I really feel good about where we are at professionally, because it was, well, let us tell you. And it was fast. It was very fast.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said, holy shit, can you keep doing that? And we're like, yeah. And so that has become a core line too. It's just draft this year, but I can see it becoming package next year.
Oh, wow.
And we'll start to pursue those channels that are more regular, the grocery channel.
What are you using in, what kind of beer are you using into the bourbon barrel?
It's an amber ale.
It's an amber ale.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about 7.5%. So it's like right there where it needs to be. And it's good. It's good and it's fast.
You got it on draft now at the.
Mhm.
If you guys want to go try that out,
there you go.
just gotta go Against the Grain.
That's right.
Go get a draft for that.
It's one of those beers. I'm excited about it too, because again, Jerry hides alcohol. And it's not a flabby piece of shit. So
We like it that Jerry is not hiding alcohol while he's working. He's hiding the taste in the beer just for everybody paying attention. at home.
He's really good at that. I think people are going to be like, God damn, this is bourbon without the booze until they've had 4.
Dude, if
and then
it's
they're like, I am
anything
fucked.
fucking like
The
that,
booze is there. Oh, shit.
if it is anything like that Scotch inspired that you put out, holy shit, man. You're going to make something dangerous, buddy.
That's the plan.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give Sam a minute to take a look around the bar.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick break.
That's good, 'cause
And
I
we're gonna
probably
come
have to piss
back.
around.
And
Yeah.
that's right, me too.
Beer
And
does that to me.
Here's
buddy.
what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a beer back on the
I
on
like
Sam's
that.
pick.
I like
there
it.
you go.
Hell, now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Ah, I like
Booyah.
it.
That's
There
the
we
move.
go.
Back.
All right, we'll be right back. See you in a second.
Hey, listener, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to come to our website at firkinpodcast.com/giveaways and click on the Bourbon and Beyond banner to enter for your chance to win 2 4-day passes to Bourbon and Beyond 2023. Today's secret code is Against the Grain. Again, thanks for listening. Back to the episode. And we're back.
Our boy Sam has picked something from a mutual friend of ours.
That's right. He said, what's that one that doesn't have a label?
Yeah. So there are not a lot of bottles here that don't have labels. Mostly everything is purchased and everything like that. But Sam seemed to find the bottle that seemed to be sitting just kind of over by itself that had nothing on it. And he knows the right ones to ask because that's the questions you always ask. What's in the shit with no label? Because it's usually that good
right.
shit. So we have a mutual friend by the name of Brandon O'Daniel.
That's right.
And he is the master distiller at Copper and Kings
Mm-hmm.
in downtown. And this is the first time we've had this on camera. And I did get Brandon's permission before we unveiled
So
any
thank
of
you,
this.
Brandon.
So thank you, Brandon. Brandon will be on the show later.
Definitely. Thank you, Brandon.
So Brandon's been sitting on a little hidden secret out there.
Oh, yeah. What is it? Tell us.
This is, we said brandy, right? He makes brandy?
Yeah, he makes it.
Maybe not all the time.
Oh.
What?
What? I have a 3/4 full bottle because it was a full bottle of,
We've had a few guests since that time.
of Copper and Kings Kentucky bourbon.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
And let that be a
So-
lesson, Kentucky.
Yep. So you talked a lot of shit about brandy for so long. And then the brandy guy said, fine, I'll make a fucking bourbon. And he did it.
He's a good one. The guy.
He did it.
Have you had the absinthe they make?
Oh my God, yeah.
He makes the best absinthe in the world. I would promise he makes the best in the world.
Dude, I think this is going to be out sometime in September. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
Let me just smell that. That's-
Like, I mean, do you,
Is
do
this
you
right
get
out of the
that?
barrel?
Right out of the barrel.
Can tell.
Yeah.
This is,
you damn straight.
guys, this is the
Brandon,
eyes
100%
water a little,
legally.
cry a little when you look at it.
Brandon legally gave me this bottle. There's absolutely nothing weird about it at all.
Nothing under the table, folks.
Nothing happened to walk out.
Mm.
Oh my goodness gracious.
It's so good. I mean, I've had that a couple of times now, but
It is so good.
the way it sets on your tongue.
Well done, sir.
Well done. You got that. And you guys have worked together
We have, yeah.
a lot.
He's amazing. He has that innovative spirit and
Trying new shit too, man.
yes, he has that. We see eye to eye on these things so much, but the flip side is that he knows spirits so well. More, we could never dream of being as skilled as he is in that regard. So we learned so much from him. He's an amazing distiller.
He is.
We did the first distillate that Against the Grain ever participated in was distilling our cuvee, the beer that's like the one that we really hang our hat on. That's not Citrus Down. It's called Bo and Luke,
Yeah.
and it's a smoked imperial stout. So, we had a good relationship with Copper and Kings, and one of our first brews was Bo and Luke at our big brewery, and we didn't know shit about the big brewery when we started it up, got it in the tanks, and the chiller shut off, and it fucking didn't go right. And so we've got all this beer, like this. That's Bo and Luke, but it's not to spec, So called Brandon, hey, what can we do? And he said, let's distill it. Let's distill it and let's make whiskey. And we did a little bit like a practice run. They have a tiny still there. So we did a practice run on that, and it was phenomenal. Like, even he was like the cocoa, the chocolate, the flavor. It's just amazing. So we did that, and it turned into we have to do more. So we did more, and we did a run of 375 mil bottles. I don't know how many. I mean, a bunch. I don't know if they're even.
I
He
have.
probably has some, maybe.
I have one. I think it's in that box over there. When I was going through it, but I did.
Yeah,
I
a little
had
tiny bottle.
Yeah, I had one.
It's so good.
It's here someplace.
He distilled that beer that we really like. It speaks volumes about who we are and what we are. He distilled it into a whiskey that just was like amazing. I mean, really, what an honor to have somebody use their art and skill and talents to accentuate something that you've done. And I can't say enough good things. I mean,
he's an incredible guy.
So we're also doing a beer back on this.
Tell us a little bit about this, Sam.
This is called Black Pills, BLK Pills. Okay, so let's talk about the name. It's trendy. It's hot. It's what all the kids are doing now. They're not spelling words out completely.
That's right. They're not. Yeah, it freaks me out, quite honestly.
That is correct.
Yeah, the words the letters BLK.
We're just getting rid of vowels.
Black. Yeah. It's black. That means black. If you didn't know, Pills is Pilsner. Obviously, we couldn't get rid of the I. I was ready to get rid of the I, but then it would have been Black Please.
Yeah, and you can't do that.
That's a different beer.
That means something totally different.
That's a different beer.
We just went the label. This is such a departure from what we've been doing.
It really is. Yeah, I'm looking at this.
I got in this this kick where I was like, I like wallpaper, and so we've done like a series. It's our seasonal stuff.
This is what you find if you go over to Sam's house.
I just fucking love wallpaper, guys.
This fucking guy.
It's truly like seriously. This is like it's wallpaper. So the label is wallpaper. It's a black lager or dark lager. It's essentially a Pilsner recipe that we've put some roasted malts in and adjusted slightly for that. And the idea was to create this really like dry, drinkable lager, but also that has the character and body of a darker beer. And Black Pills was born from that.
Wow.
I'm legit looking for the dick on here.
There is no dick, but there are cats. You do the math.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew there would be something.
So, Sam, if you listen to the show, you know that this is where it goes downhill.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the fifth or sixth drink.
Yeah. This is where we really go downhill.
This is normally the fourth drink, and we're like the sixth or seventh. I don't even know.
And you know what? We went through beer, and then we went through some high proof beer, and then we said, yeah, you know what? Let's go throw some fucking whiskey in it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nothing really gets the conversation right.
All right, fantastic. Well, Sam, I know you know a lot about beer.
I do.
And I wanted to kind of just roll through some scenarios for our audience to have you pair some certain beers to certain events.
Oh, yeah, I love this. Let's
And,
go. You got
let
to
them
fuck
know-
one, you got to marry one, you got to kill one.
That's right, buddy. That's
What
right.
beer would you enjoy during certain events?
Let's go.
I mean, hey, let these people know
Okay.
what Sam's got.
I like it.
So, Sam, let's say you're at a sporting event.
Soccer.
I would never go to a soccer game without drinking Modelo.
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 Good call.
Very nice.
Basketball.
I would never go to a basketball game without drinking Modelo.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Football.
sponsor this episode.
Oh, wait, I said soccer.
No, I'll tell you, I liked Modelo before they kicked Bud Light's ass.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I was always been a fan of that.
I like Modelo's.
So I like Modelo at Hooters with a few limes in it.
All right,
I
yeah.
like
Okay.
Modelo at El Nopal with a few limes in it.
Damn straight.
And I like Modelo in the summer until my blood pressure starts to peak. And I'm going somewhere else with that. So I'm a fan of that stuff.
All right, I'm with you.
Modelo with a bunch of limes.
Bunch of limes.
How many
Yeah.
limes are we talking here?
2. If it's in a can, though, 1.
Okay.
In a bottle, I could do 1. But once we start getting in a glass, let's go with 2. I got to take the fucking Pepsid, and
Yeah.
then
Yes.
I'm good to roll. I'm a big fan of that beer.
What's your favorite sport? To
Football.
watch. To watch.
Football. Big
Okay.
fan of football.
Yeah.
So, what are you drinking football time? Are you drinking a Modelo? Or are you
It's
drinking
fucking
something else?
Modelo.
I could be if I'm at the game. I mean, whatever. I mean, you get a gallon of beer when you know how it is. Like
Yeah.
they give you a gallon of beer. I like Coors Light. I like Modelo. If they have Against the Grain, I'll drink that before anything else ever.
Goddamn right.
Because the home
you
team,
know, it's
home
Pays
team.
the bill.
Come
on. But I try to stay away from the heavy, big. Craft beer is very sugary. I try to stay away from that. so that I can continue to drink until I'm stupid. And
So are you would you say outside of Modelo wise, kind of a domestic beer? Totally okay.
Lager. Let's just say not domestic. I'm a lager drinker.
Okay, cool.
I'm a
All
big fan of good lagers, and there's some good ones out there, like really really good stuff.
All right. So Sam,
Mhm.
you're just at a tavern. What beer you picking there?
Where at in the world?
Oh, nice one. New York City.
New York City. It's going to be something local,
All
something
right.
from a local brewery there.
What type of beer you think you're going to choose?
Wheat beer.
A wheat beer.
Believe it or not, yeah, that's where my world is now. It's kind of a little weird now, but wheat beer and lager. I absolutely love lagers. So if I'll see a traditional like Helles or Vienna lager, I'd jump right on those. Those
All
are
right.
good.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm gonna drink fucking Sam. If I can find Samuel Smith or those classic breweries that are there, I want their stuff.
Cool.
British Craft is pretty good, but I've been over there. It's pretty good. That's about the best I can say. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. They got a lot to learn.
All right, I'm tossing one more at
How's
you. Germany.
Yeah.
Traditional lager.
Okay.
Whatever.
Damn straight.
And
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Bamberg, if I want
Bamberg
smoked
is
fucking
great.
beer. I want
Bamberg is great.
give me the smoked beer.
So is because I am not very well versed in the drinking, kind of like beer across the world. Isn't Germany? Don't they drink a lot more like room temperature beer? Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, it's cellar temperature. So
Okay.
we in the U.S. It's really fucking cold. Like we keep our
Yeah.
But it's what I found in the traveling that I've done. What I found interesting is it's not their cellar temperatures are not cellar temperature because they are like we've got to keep it at 50. You know, it's not like that. It's because all of the places are old as fuck. They're like 1,000-year-old buildings that keep getting retrofitted to be what they are
today.
Yeah, and they don't have room for like refrigeration the way we do.
Right.
So everything's kind of been adjusted to the very best of their ability without so much investment. And that's why temperatures aren't exactly what we would have them in the U.S.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting.
What about like what if you're like in Brazil? You have any?
No, I haven't been to Brazil, but I would drink not water.
Mm-hmm.
I've found out
that's right.
not. I've been told that's not good.
Seems like
there's a
pretty
brewery
humid
there
place.
called Narcos.
Okay.
And every Narcos beer I've ever had has been phenomenal. It's good stuff. So I would seek that out, and then
Is that available in Kentucky? Do
it
you know?
is no, maybe we're producing
Maybe.
it for them. So maybe.
So if we go to Against the Grain,
Oh,
it could
that's
be
what you heard of
available.
No.
Big downer. for everybody here.
There's a beer that I had that had this flower that like kind of fucked with your taste buds. It's not legal in the U.S. It's like
I bet it's not.
Probably because you just said fucked with your taste buds.
it's unbelievable the things that it
That would be psychoactive.
kind of. It went away fast though. It was quick.
Those are my favorite ones.
That's it.
I don't like to be locked in.
I want to
for too
drive.
long. That's right.
That's right.
Bring it on and let me out of it. All right, Sam. You're in the woods. What kind of beer are you drinking?
Oh, whiskey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved
you.
it. I
Yeah.
thought he was going to be like whatever American still.
It's whiskey. It's easy to carry.
Whiskey in the woods.
Yeah.
All right. I love
You
it.
got a little water. You got a little whiskey. You're
It is
good.
much easier to carry. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
On the river. You're on a boat on the river.
Okay, this is so.
Definitely not the
okay,
Ohio
so
River.
I have actually riverboated in the Ohio for the last 4 years.
I bet you have.
I have moved it to a lake now. The boat. My better half is a big fan of Coors Light,
Okay.
and we only have so much cold space on the boat, and I found it easier to have Coors Light than to try to pack my shit around. And so Coors Light,
Just go with whatever she
yeah,
wants. Yeah,
yep,
I
and
understand.
water.
I dig it.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's good.
I also, like, she refuses to drive the boat, so I have to maintain some level of sobriety.
Understand.
Lady, come on. You got to drive the boat sometimes. All right. So, in the same vein, on the ocean.
Ooh.
Oh.
So I'm a Florida man. I go to Florida as much as I can. I fucking
Florida
love it.
man here.
Yeah. They got a beer called Reef Donkey. It's a pale ale.
Sure, that's the one.
It's got, I drink 1,000 of those, and I get like it's almost blackout city.
You said it was a pale ale?
Yeah, it's a pale ale. It's Tampa Bay Brewing Company. Reef Donkey.
Okay.
Love that beer, so I'll drink a ton of it. Beach, not in Florida. You can find me drinking some sort of ranch water. I like that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I was on a beach in the Mediterranean, and I drank what they called margaritas, what I think were drugs. I drink a lot of drugs because I don't recall a portion of the day.
This was not beer.
I understand.
And they when I came back the next day, they cheered for me. Mr. Sam! Mr. Sam!
I bet they did. Because you did all kinds of crazy shit
What
that you don't even know
happened?
what the hell you did.
He comes back still to this day.
Yeah.
Mr. Sam's back. And
All
he's
right.
like, what the hell did I do?
Yeah. No idea. No.
What do you got?
On a mountain.
Like at the bottom?
No, on the top, baby. Come on.
That's such a...
You're up on a mountain.
First
What are you
off,
drinking?
You already said, have you looked at guys our size?
Yeah.
Top of it.
I'm thinking about it.
Did you
This
really
is just
think
like-
we made it to
if-
the top of
if
a
you
fucking
ever-
mountain?
Is it called a gondola?
If
The
you,
thing-
yes, take the gondola to the top of the mountain.
Take one of those Sherpas that take me all the way
And you
up
had
the
a
top of the mountain.
backpack and you had some beer
If it's
in it.
cold, it's whiskey. If it's
Might be,
cold,
man.
bourbon. Yeah. If it's cold, I'm doing that. If it depends on where it's at. If it's in the Swiss Alps, then I'm drinking lager.
Hell
They've got
yeah.
a fucking good lager there.
Everest.
If it's I'm praying for my life.
Aren't
If
all mountains cold? That's why I stay away from them.
Pacific,
Not because I can't hike up them.
I cannot.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm on his side. I can't hike up the mountain. I can't hike up a molehill.
I'd get 10 feet up that thing. I'd be like, okay, time to have this beer that I brought.
honey, will you pop that pills?
Yeah.
Black
Pacific
pills.
Northwest, Rockies,
Yeah, let's do that.
Pale Ale.
Hell yeah.
I like
Pale Ale.
that. I like
Sierra
that.
Nevada.
Mountain got us some. That's
I
right.
like that.
Which of the Sierra Nevadas do you like the best?
Torpedo.
Torpedoes.
Torpedo.
fantastic.
Every day torpedo. But let's do this. Okay, let's say this. Torpedo and Two Hearted. In my opinion, equal. I love them both.
Yeah,
Different parts of the US, a little bit different
beers,
each.
yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
But to me they are like that's it. That's the ones.
That is the mountaintop.
Mhm.
I like those.
Look
Yep.
at that.
That's good.
I love Two Hearted, but
We're all
that
out.
torpedo just has my heart.
They're great beers. They're both
Yeah.
great beers. But they're akin to each other to me.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself saying it isn't the beer, it's the moment?
A lot of the times.
I
find
it
that
more often than any other
A lot
way.
of the time.
Buddy, I have found that in so many things that I've drank, and even and I'll never say a brand name, but I've had such a good moment drinking it, and then eventually, months later, go back and revisit it, and the taste puts me back in that moment,
Yep. Right.
which is awesome and amazing, but it's not necessarily such a phenomenal.
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the same thing that when I
But-
had it there.
But what a wonderful thing as a beer maker or brewer is. What a wonderful thing to be able to participate in that.
Yeah,
Right.
To be able to,
Yeah.
to
Absolutely.
have that I had this beer whenever, whatever, and then I think I'll get that. And then there's a brief memory. To me, wow, that's a big.
It's huge.
that's a hell of an
Yeah.
award.
I agree.
you
There's
know?
many things not only on this bar, but to beer that when you can go back and you can taste it, like, man, I remember doing this
That's
on
right.
that day. I remember that festival. I remember that concert. So much in certain alcohols,
Yeah.
not only bourbons but also beers. So it's just
That's-
resonates with that.
I
that
love
time.
That's what I want. That again, live forever.
Live forever.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Live
Yes.
forever.
Live forever.
They go back and they're like, yeah, I remember having that at Against the Grain.
That's right.
Or I remember drinking that during the Firkin podcast.
Damn straight.
It's
right.
freaking awesome.
Freaking incredible.
Brian, you got one more over there, don't you?
Last one.
Mhm.
All right, Sam. By the grill.
By the grill,
That's right.
a beer.
A beer.
Yeah.
Against
Look
the grains,
at you.
a beer.
And
yeah.
what are you
Let me-
grilling with the
I
beer?
I eat all sorts of animals. I have no issues. I'm not.
You're not
I'm
a
not
vegetarian?
I'm not any sort of Italians.
other than a meat-atarian.
I like all. I would eat a bug. I'm not.
If it's prepared right,
That's right.
Yeah, done right. I could do it. But in my household, we don't eat a lot of meat, like red meat or chicken or anything like that. We eat a lot of seafood. So typically, it's mahi or shrimp or salmon or whatever, sea bass or whatever.
Where's my invite, man?
I've never been invited for chili and sea bass night.
It's a weird thing. I was not that way until Denise and I got together. I just started cooking that direction.
Yeah.
And so now I can cook fish really well. So lots of seafood. A beer goes really well with that. If there's no kids and there's no her, it's a filet.
All right.
And I basically have 2 fillets. There's no vegetables. I get 2 medallions.
I'm glad
this is what I'm doing right here.
So let me tell you something, Sam. I've had this conversation many times with my significant other that when I cook, that I can absolutely, it's all like, oh, well, we got to have sides and we have to settle. Oh, fuck, we don't.
I don't need shit.
And I can have meat.
I don't really want that other stuff.
Yeah, honestly, you're
That's
taking
just a
up
waste of
room
my
for
time.
4 fucking meat.
It's also, if you're grilling, you have to run inside.
That's right.
Fuck that. I don't want to do that. I forgot to say this too. Guys, I'm also like a wine drinker as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
I am too. I did not know that you were a wine drinker.
Yes.
We probably would have some wine bottles on here too.
I have an affinity for good wine. My favorite, if it's not beer, if I'm not beering, like live beer. My life is fucking beer.
Right.
But if it's not that, I like German, like a really dry German Riesling.
German Rieslings.
Yeah.
Gewürztraminers.
Yes, I
those are
will.
beautiful.
I will drink the fuck out of that. Like it's not 1 bottle; it's 2 bottles.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm grilling with. And I look like
nice.
a 300-pound dude with an apron on, grilling, and I've got a
Got
fucking
the,
little
got
glass
the
of
little
wine.
fucking glass.
He's got his pinky. He's got his pinky out.
I listen to country music or metal, and the neighbors are like,
What the fuck is going on?
What is wrong with this guy? He
man.
changes from day to day. I don't even know what's going on. One day he's slamming cans, the other day he's
I'm
slamming.
also, I am not. It's shameless. I will, whitey tighty. Like I will put the apron on and go out in the yard and cook. We don't have I do with the grill in the front. I don't give a fuck.
It's important to show your neighbors who you truly are.
It keeps them from talking to me.
That's right.
This is Kentucky at its finest. Kentucky at its finest.
So important to let them know who you truly are. That's
so.
Oh man. So Sam, it has been so fun. This has been an awesome episode. This is one of those episodes, as we always say again, we always plan to record for a certain point in your time, but when we have a badass guest, it goes so long. But did you have fun? That's the most important part.
Fuck yeah, I've had fun.
Oh yeah.
I got this labelless bourbon, which is delicious.
That's right.
Damn right.
I opened some bottles that I forgot that were in there.
Yeah.
And you guys are pretty good conversation.
Thanks, man. And now we're going to have I don't know, maybe we'll have one more pour off camera.
Yeah, I think
That
so.
works.
What do you think?
I'm here for that.
Like it?
Yep.
Brian, close us out, man.
Man, thanks, Sam. Thanks to the listeners for tuning in. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/@FirkinPodcast. Questions or comments can be sent to mailbag@FirkinPodcast.com. Visit our Patreon to become a founding member at patreon.com/FirkinPodcast. Subscribe and rate us on your podcast platform of choice, and make sure to share it with a friend, because I'm sure they would love it as much as you do.
They will.
And until next time, let's raise a glass or a can to the stories behind the drinks. Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Fuck yeah.
Hey, yeah.